Hello, in this video, I'm saying to you, don't just follow, think. That's what I'm talking about today. Join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. This is a channel I created to share what I know and continue to learn. And if you are new, my name is Sherifa, Nakalema, business owner here in Virginia, USA. I share on this channel business tips, YouTube tips, earning money online tips through affiliate marketing. I also talk about motivation, like today. It's motivational day. It's normally a Sunday motivation. And then recently I started daily. I review books. I started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So if all that sounds interesting, the whole message is to ask you to take a step to make your life better. Like everything I'm doing is about making things better. So if you believe making things better is a good thing, please consider subscribing to this channel and sharing my videos. And please don't leave without leaving a comment. Whatever you feel while you are here, add it in a comment. That's how I know I value your feedback. And for those of you who have been here with me, appreciate you supporting this message, for you taking your time to be here. And I'm trying to make my videos shorter. They used to be very long. I'm trying to make them shorter. And please support the message. Is a good message, I believe. And my schedule here is daily. I do daily for the books, and I change the time. Please, I put this at the front because all of you who have been following me, I always say 1 p.m. Eastern time. I changed it 2 hours earlier because I'm considering you, my viewers. Because this is international audience, I noticed that most of the time people are sleeping when I upload videos, yet I do them as premieres. I really appreciate if you come to be on them while they are premiering. I schedule them. Please come on and support this message. I changed it. It's now 11 a.m. USA Eastern time. Please check your local listing. That's daily for the books. And like Rich Dad Poor Dad is still going. And like 11 a.m. USA Eastern time. And that on Friday, I come as a live. The same time for books becomes a live. I am here on live. Please check my community tab. That's where I always post things when they're happening. The community tab, take a look at it. And then on Thursdays and on Sundays, 30 minutes later, after I do the books, I switch them. I used to do them backwards, like these other videos will come, the books will come later. Now the books come first, and then the motivation one on Sunday will come after the books, which is 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, US Eastern time. And then on Thursdays, I do YouTube tips and business tips. Still, after the books, I switch them around. Those will be coming later on Thursdays for those who come for YouTube tips and business tips. I wanted to get that schedule out so that you all understand that I changed things around. You see that videos are coming a little bit earlier. And I also have to mention, for those of you who have been supporting my goal of 10,000 subscribers, right now we are at 9,417. I checked before I sat down here. And that's 583 to the goal. I appreciate you so much. Please share the videos. Please, this community, I promise you, is going to change your life, because that's my intention. I find something good, I share it, like today. Today, it's not something new. Those of you who are close to me, when my Facebook group, I've been sharing an audio by Earl Nightingale. Earl, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Earl had this audio that he recorded a long time ago. And he was sharing a message. Remember, the message I have today is, don't just follow, think. So for those of you who have listened to Earl, he had this message that he recorded a long time ago. It's on YouTube. In fact, I'm sharing, he has 2 versions. There is one that's long, the one I share in my Facebook group, or people who are around me, I share it. It's like 30 minutes long. But he has another one that I'm sharing today. I'll put a link below in the description below, where he talks about conformity. And this all started when, a long time ago, I think in the 60s, there was this doctor who was a Nobel Prize winner, and a reporter asked the doctor, you'll notice that this message is normally about men, but actually for now, it's about all of us. Because at that time, men were responsible for, I think, financially for their home, financial well-being of the home, their family. So it was mostly centered on men. but I'll be calling them people. Because at that time, the reporter asked the Nobel Prize winner, that what's wrong with men today? And according to Earl, he's the one reporting, that the doctor was quiet for a moment, and then he responded, he said, men simply don't think. For those of you who have shared this video, who have audio, it's actually video, but it's actually audio. I think they've changed it because it's like audio, video form, but it's actually just speaking. It's not like, you can't see him, just his image right there on the videos. I've shared it, and most of you have listened to all of it. He goes on and on and on, but I picked out just one message today. When the doctor says that men simply don't think, then Earl comes and says that's his message today. He wants to expound on that men don't think. And that's the message I brought out today. And I'm saying, let's learn this message. If you haven't yet, if you want, you can go listen to him. I'm going to put a link below. Don't just follow, think. And he has examples. He says that we are not successful. I have some notes because I'm quoting him. We are not successful financially because we conform. We like to follow what's normal, what everyone else is doing. And he starts off by giving an example. I think this was statistics. I think it's the real story of what happened. Because they had 100, although in this video, in this audio, he's going to talk about, imagine, 100 men. But in the other one, he says there were 25 men, young men. Okay, young men. 25, is it young? I don't know. They were 25 years, and they put them in the same environment. And that environment was, I think, USA. Everything is good. Nothing is limiting you. All you had to do is decide that you want to be successful. So when they asked them if they wanted to be successful, he said they said yes. He even described their eyes. They were very excited. So I think they recorded their names. I don't know what they did, but they followed them later. What happened to them later? There were 100 men, and they followed them when they were 65 to see what happened to these men. And this is a report. I don't know if this was a real true story, but he uses it a lot. And he says, maybe even now you could start your same 100 men at 25 and see what happens 40 years later. You could do your own study. He said 1 out of 100 men, those men who were 25 at that time, when they're 65, only one, I think these were real people because of these statistics. One person was rich out of the 100 men. 4 were financially independent. Okay, they didn't depend on anyone. They had enough money to take care of themselves to the end of their life. He says 36 were dead. That's why I'm saying they were following real people. 36 were dead, and 54, this is the figure that's so important, 54 people were alive, but they were depending on others at 65. So 40 years later, they could not be financially independent. They were depending on other people. So he's saying, according to that, because he had one person rich and 4 were financially independent, they were fine, he had only 5%. So he's saying only 5% managed to not depend on others. Okay, the rest, the 36 were not there anymore. And he says, according to him, the only reason those men failed to be, this is the financial message. The only reason they failed is because they conform. They conform. And he says, people conform. What he means, that when you are a child, okay, when you're home, your parents ask you, do this, do that, do that. You are used to saying yes, yes, yes. If you don't say yes, you are considered like something is not right. Why are you not listening to your parents? Then you go to school, the same thing. You're supposed to follow what the teachers say. And then you finish school, you start a job, you're supposed to follow what the employer says. Like you are always following. So he's saying that following creates a problem. People stop thinking. People stop thinking for themselves. And for the ones who decide to think or to decide to be, and the reason they decide, okay, let me start with this. The reason they decide to conform, he has his reasons here. Actually, he says because it's easy. It's easy to follow what everyone is doing, and they don't want to be different. You want to avoid discomfort, or you don't want to be like socially different. And we know from when you watch people who have been successful, actually, when they tell you how they behave, even like I'm reading that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. For those of you who are following me, he said at some point they were different at school. They were behaving different, and the teachers were seeing them as different, and the other students, because they were doing something that was different. So deciding to do something different is not easy for everyone. So people choose to go with the flow, and this can lead to trouble. So then he said something. In fact, he's like wondering, how can that happen? Because he says, in fact, he gives an example in this video, audio. In fact, it's a video form, but audio, the one I'm giving you, he gives an example of a piano player. That can you imagine someone playing piano? Now he's comparing it to you doing a job, like whatever you do. 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. And you keep doing something for 40 years, and you still cannot figure out, you cannot be successful at it. That's what he's asking. Because he's saying that anything, and I agree, especially these days, because those days were different, but now the opportunities are everywhere. He says that anything you do, whatever you do, if you do it for 5 years consistently, you become an expert. And he's saying that once you become an expert, there's no way you cannot figure out how to gain from it financially. And I agree with him, especially with this age of the internet. I think you're seeing it happen more and more. But those people who figured it out a long time ago, they're successful. I think the message is to focus. In fact, he ends it by saying, you need to decide whatever you are doing, don't go looking for something else. According to him, where you are right now, you can, if you focus on it, he says you have to understand all angles of whatever you're doing. He says, understand is the way a lawyer understands. Understand the history, understand the future, understand completely the area, and become an expert. And once you become an expert, then you're going to figure out a way to gain from it. And I think he is so right. Because I can give you my example of cleaning. When I started, I didn't know how to clean. But when you become an expert at just cleaning, being the best, having a company that cleans the best around, then everyone wants to call you. And you can choose where you want to go and where you don't want to go. For me, I say, I don't go to this zip code. America is by zip codes. I say, that's too long. Any journey over 30 minutes, I don't do it. But just because I'm not trying to grow so big. But if I really wanted, I can grow, and I know how it all happened. Is because you focus and learn. Cleaning is a skill. Not everyone can clean right. Professionally, I mean. So you can just master something as simple as cleaning. You may think everyone can clean. No, not everyone can clean. And not every cleaning company is good. So I just brought that example. I didn't plan it. I just said it. And now, that because I learned about this this message about 2 years ago. That's why I was so excited to share it. Anyone in my Facebook group, I said, please listen to it. I said, okay, you can focus on something and focus and learn. And when I came online, I started a few things. And then finally, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to focus on YouTube. I just decided this like last year. I'm focusing on YouTube and I'm testing this theory out. Let's focus on learning one thing and see where it leads me. According to him, 5 years is what you need. 5 years, you're going to be an expert in that thing. Assuming you're going to give it a few hours, enough time. And he says, after you decide, in fact, he said the attitude you bring to the table, like whatever you're doing, you need to respect it. You need to respect it and decide, I'm going to do this. Don't care about what other people are saying, whether it's a bad job, whatever. As long as you focus and you want it, do it. Then master it. Understand all corners. You can create a course around it. You can create a YouTube channel around it, especially these days. And then 5 years, and then he says, save some money. In fact, his message is about saving, but we want to modify it because at that time it was in the 60s, I think, or 50s when he recorded this. Let's modify it. For those of you who follow me, when I read the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he calls it keeping, how much you keep. So what he called saving, how much you save. In fact, he recommends 10%, that consistently save 10% of your money. So we cannot stop on that. With the modern way now, updating the message, if it's 10%, whatever it is, consistently, but then you're going to invest it in something else. So it brings out more money. Whatever you try to do, make sure you save, but also invest, but consistently. So let's see what 40 years will do. My message, now I'm adding my own words. Whatever you're doing, think about solving a problem. What problem can you solve? Think about something, master it, and become the expert of that. Solve a problem, create a course around it, create a coaching program around it, and you'll be fine. That's my message today. And this message, especially if you're watching me and you're a parent, please, when you have like a creative child, let them explore it. Give them the chance. Whatever they are trying to do that you see is different, support them. I'm not saying get them out of school or whatever. Let them do the regular school, but explore whatever they are trying to do. Support them. Put them in a coaching program or something to develop it, because maybe that's their way. Because remember we talked about conforming, that we need to stop conforming, just doing things because other people are doing them, just following something. Like you finish school, you do things what everyone is doing. Now it's IT, everyone. Now it's like whatever is like going with the trend. No, go with what you believe in. And then even when it starts to, you get out or you start working, everyone is buying a big car. Everyone is buying I remember the time when I was saying SUVs, everyone is driving SUV. Everyone is buying a big house. Go with what is right for you. Stop following other people. And I have an example. We have a live example of Jeff Bezos when he started putting YouTube books on the internet, Amazon.com. I'll tell the story that out there. I saw it when he came on Oprah telling his story. And I was one of the people who first promoted, became an associate at that time. Everyone was not understanding what he was doing because he said, I'm going to put books on the internet. See what happened with his company. It's because he decided to be different. Let's be creative. If you have children, let them be creative. If you are young enough, but even your age, I'm learning all this now and I'm putting in action. Well, 5 years is what he just gave you. It may not even be 5 years. If you focus, especially on the internet now, it may be much less than 5 years. I would say 2-3 years. You can master something and create something out of it. That's my message today. Please don't conform. Please support your children to be creative. Support them. Sometimes you may have to invest some money for them to become experts. But let's not be the 57 that ended up, was it 57? The number was 54. The 54 that had to depend on other people in their old age. I think that's a sad situation. When you are old and you have to wait for someone to buy you something, you don't have anything, that has to be very, very sad. So please, let's take steps to make our life better. That's my message here always. Please share it. Please come and join the books. Now I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'll bring some more books. I think we are learning a lot. Let's not wait for anyone else to do it for us. It's our job. It doesn't matter how old you are, but especially the children, please share my message. My messages are not R-rated. In America, they have levels G, P, G, R. These are clean messages. Please share with your children. They may think I'm boring or whatever they call it, but there is messages in this channel. Please share it, especially the Rich Dad, Poor Dad lessons. Share them because they are good messages and they're free. Like I always end these messages, take very good care of yourself, take very good care of your families, take very good care of your health. Please don't conform, think outside the box, develop your skill and save some money and invest it. Leave a comment for me and like, and then leave a comment. Take a step to a better you. Bye-bye.